Welcome back to another episode, guys, and I hope you're all well. And this weekend, we've got a wonderful weekend of football. I think every single game in the Premier League is difficult to call, but there's one game that's catching my eye and probably your eye as well. That's Liverpool taking on Chelsea. But before we begin the tactical preview, make sure you smash up the like button, hit the subscribe button if you haven't already done so. And yeah, let's get started. So Chelsea travelled to Anfield, and it's literally the best defence against the second best attack. I think Liverpool have only conceded 2 goals. Chelsea have scored 16, only behind Man City, who have scored 17. But this game goes much deeper than just can they score or not, because this is a tactical chess game. So let's begin with Chelsea and Enzo Maresca. As we all know, he sets up in a 4-2-3-1, and he's a disciple of the inverted fullback. Now, this is where it gets key because, as we know already, Wesley Fofana and Marc Cucurella cannot play, suspended. So will more likely be Tosin coming in place of Fofana, Bernardo Vega in place of Cucurella. Now, for that reason, I predict Malo Gusto to be the one inverting. Bernardo Vega being the one being that third centre-back, providing cover whenever we're in possession. First thing I want to point out, whenever you go to a place like Anfield, you want to win your individual battles. Every man should step on that field thinking, my opponent, my direct opponent, will not get the best out of me. Secondly, we'll see Chelsea's minerals. This is where the test happens for both Liverpool and Chelsea, because Chelsea are in great form. Not only is this a test for Chelsea, it's a test for Liverpool. As you can see on the screen, this is how both teams will line up. But it very much changes regarding if you're in possession or out of possession. And this is where the key moments will happen. Now, Chelsea invert their fullback. So what that means is, the reason he does that is those 4 will have an overload. There's 3 Liverpool players, 4 Chelsea players. And this is where you got to be brave. Each and every one of those players has to be brave and comfortable under pressure. Now, Malo Gusto actually played as a midfielder when he was coming through the ranks in the youth ranks. So he's quite familiar with that role. Now, it's about the decisions, when to come inside and when not to come inside. And the reason I say they need to be extremely comfortable under pressure is because this is where the game of chess happens. This is where the fine moments become big moments. Because since Chelsea have got a box of 4 there, they've outnumbered Liverpool in the midfield. Now, that exposes them elsewhere. So look, it's 3-on-3 there. So if they're not comfortable and reliable in possession under pressure and lose possession, that's when Liverpool can counter-attack and be dangerous. So we need to be extremely cute and smart when we play through the lines. Now, having that extra man allows us to do that. And that's exactly why Enzo Maresca favours the inverted fullback. Now, what's key here is this is where the game of chess happens, like I said, because against Man United, Liverpool were aggressive in their press. It's quite similar to Klopp. Liverpool are very aggressive, especially when teams like to play out from the back. So you'll often see Liverpool do this, go into a 4-4-2 formation when they're pressing. And the reason they do that is because they want to force a high turnover. Because if they can force a high turnover, then they've complemented the overload. So you'll see that. Now, this sort of tactic from Liverpool was very evident against Man United. And that's probably why they won 3-0, because they knew Man United were lacking confidence, weren't comfortable playing out from the back. So they tried to almost suffocate them and win the ball back high up the field. That's exactly what Arne Slot wants to do with this Liverpool side. And this is why I say Levi Colwill becomes absolutely crucial, because he's the one that usually plays out from the back. Him and Fofana build up a really good partnership, where Fofana is the more physical, athletic one. Even though Colwill is big, strong, physical, he's more of the ball player type. Now, this is where it's key, because he needs to be comfortable receiving the ball with a banker forward just ahead of him. And now the difference between Pochettino's Chelsea and Enzo Maresca's Chelsea is Enzo Maresca is a lot more dynamic, a lot more direct in his approach. Now, when you go to Anfield, you need to be brave. And this is what Enzo Maresca likes to do. He likes his goalkeeper to almost get involved in the ball build-up, almost have a bank of four. Again, that allows Chelsea to have the overload. So what you'll see is this is why we're seeing the mistakes against Brighton, because Enzo Maresca wants his goalkeeper to be brave on the ball. It's risky, but when it comes off, it's very, very good. Now, let's say that's Levi Colwill. The reason why he's such significance in this build-up is because he's the one that needs to make the decisions on when to play through the lines. His decision-making needs to be on point, because Enzo, let's say that's Moses Caicedo and he's getting pressured by Alex McAllister. Can we beat that pressure and play it straight into there? This is why we need to be brave. And this is why Enzo Fernandez is going to be key in this game. And I'll tell you exactly why. Chelsea are going to have to do what I like to call tension play, receiving the ball under pressure. Because when a midfielder receives a ball under pressure, it frees up another midfielder. Let me show you. Let's say Levi Colwill plays the ball to Caicedo, and then he comes to press. Enzo Fernandez is free. If he can quickly turn on the ball and play him in, Chelsea can break. And that's where you'll expose Liverpool. And this is why I say Enzo Fernandez plays an important role in Chelsea's overall tactics, because he moves in areas very selfishly where he doesn't actually want to receive the ball. It's all purposely to free up another man. So, for example, again, if Colwill plays it Moses Caicedo, he's got a free area here, which means he's caught in two minds. He's got to go and press. And what's that do? Leaves up a massive gaping hole here for Nicholas Jackson or Cole Palmer. So Enzo Fernandez gets into dangerous positions where Liverpool players cannot leave him. So they automatically get drawn towards Enzo Fernandez. And this is why we've seen Cole Palmer have a lot of freedom, because Enzo Fernandez is key to Cole Palmer's freedom. Now, Cole Palmer is touching the ball less in an Enzo Maresca system, but he's a lot more effective. So what I mean by that is last season under Poch, Cole Palmer was dropping into these areas because we didn't have the overload. So we had a bank of four. And Cole Palmer was dropping into these areas to receive the ball. Now he's so far away from goal, he can't be as effective. But in this inverted system, it allows Cole Palmer to be more decisive higher up the pitch. And that's key to exposing Liverpool, because Cole Palmer can play between the lines and receive possession or just freely run into space. So if Chelsea aren't direct with the passing, they're not going to expose Liverpool, because playing side to side or a slow, sluggish build-up play, like we've seen with Poch last season, plays into Liverpool's hands, because they're so good at triggering the press and counter-pressing in numbers. This just closes the space and ultimately forces Chelsea into mistakes. So one, we need to be, with decision-making needs to be absolutely on point when we're in possession. Two, that inverted fullback is going to be absolutely crucial. And three, we need to be so brave at receiving under pressure. It frees up our attackers like Cole Palmer, like Noni Manueki, like Jadon Sancho, like Nicholas Jackson. So we need to be comfortable receiving in those tension areas to then free up a teammate in those more open spaces. And another factor, and why I always say profiles and partnerships, because you need to build those partnerships on a football pitch. So Chelsea's wingers need to stay high and wide in possession, because that just frees up the central areas for Enzo Fernandez and Cole Palmer. Just pick up those pockets of space, but it also makes Liverpool fullbacks to jump out, because they cannot leave those wingers out on the touchline by themselves. So you'll have Trent jumping out, Andy Robertson jumping out, and this allows Chelsea to create that overload in central areas. We've seen with Klopp last season that he inverted Trent a lot, and you would think that Liverpool will do this to try and counteract Chelsea's overload in central areas. But we've seen that against Ipswich. First game of the season when Liverpool went to Ipswich, in the first half, Ipswich were compacting the midfield. So it was extremely tight in the midfield, and Liverpool were inverting Trent into the midfield, and there was just no space, and that's how Liverpool couldn't get their fluid style going. Now, what Arne Slot does different to Klopp is he's a lot more balanced. He doesn't always invert Trent. So it's going to be interesting to see whether he does invert Trent or not, because I expect him to act more as a flying fullback rather than an inverting fullback, because it'll just give Liverpool a lot more balance, but it'll also allow them to keep an eye on Jadon Sancho, who'll be hugging the touchline. Now, this is where another battle happens, and it becomes another chess game, because let's say Chelsea have got possession in those central areas. You can see the box of four there. You've got those two playing in those channels, in the pockets of space. And then you've got Caicedo and Malo Gusto there. What Liverpool are going to want to do is push their fullbacks on, because it makes them come deeper. Where Chelsea need to be brave is they need to cheat a little. I used to say this when I played football. They cheat a little, so it makes them go retreat and then it opens up all this space for Cole Palmer and Enzo Fernandez to get on the ball. Now, what's going to happen out of possession? I think what we've seen from Chelsea is usually that they keep their inverted fullback in the midfield, and that's for initial press. Now, they want to win the ball back in that sort of position. If they don't win the ball back in that position, they then retreat to a 4-4-2. What I think will happen, because of those one-on-one battles in wider areas, I think Chelsea will automatically retreat to a 4-4-2 instead of trying to press in the inverted system shape. The reason behind this is because Liverpool are extremely dangerous in those wider areas. So if we're still in a three at the back, that means their two wingers, Luis Diaz or whoever might play on the wing, will be left alone, and they've got unbelievable amounts of room to punish Chelsea. We fail to do that. Liverpool have exposed it because they've now got the overload. Again, this goes back to the game of chess. It's all a chess game in this tactical battle, because if Slot inverts his right back, then this defeats the object of the two wide wingers. So it's all a game of chess. This is why I don't think we'll see Trent inverting as much. I think he will at times, but not as much as what you would see from Chelsea. Because with Liverpool's wingers being high and wide, and we're three at the back, this means he's got to go out there to cover there. He's got to go out there to cover there. And that leaves Levi Colwill exposed. This is why it's imperative that Malo Gusto gets back into his shape and is very, very, very disciplined. This is why he's going to have to pick and choose his moments to invert, because he cannot leave these by himself. Now, this is also a key battle, because at the minute, Malo Gusto has been dominated in one-on-one battles. This cannot happen, because Luis Diaz is very, very dangerous, elusive, innovative when he's on the ball. When Liverpool are in possession, it's all about rotational play. So when they're looking to build up possession, they will rotate their players. This is why it's key that we've got to be disciplined and keep with shape, because you'll often see Diaz coming into these areas, Dominic coming into these areas, McAllister, he normally interchanges between the right and the left. But McAllister over in here, and then Andy Robertson will get high and wide. So there you've pretty much got two in there. McAllister here and Andy Robertson here. So it's absolutely paramount that we are disciplined in our shape. This is why I think we should revert back to a 4-4-2 out of possession, because naturally it's harder to break down. So to simplify what I've just said from a Chelsea perspective is that the two midfielders need to be brave and comfortable under intense pressure. The reason behind that is because it frees up Enzo Fernandez and Cole Palmer, and that's going to be the key to Chelsea winning this game. Liverpool don't give you many moments. Now, when we get that opportunity, we need to take it. Liverpool are one of the most dangerous attacking outfits in the Premier League. So you've got to be extremely disciplined and make the right decisions. That's what it's all about, making the right decisions. The game is really about different chess pieces because both teams are so tactical. I hope this actually makes sense. It's a little bit different than what I normally do. But if you've enjoyed this video, make sure you hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. My prediction, I'm going to go for a 1-1 draw. I think both teams will end up cancelling each other out. And it's just going to be, oh, I can't wait for this game. I love it when there's chess pieces and so many different decisive factors that can win or lose a game. But I can't wait for this game. But I want to hear your predictions. Let us know your predictions in the comments below. And finally, I want to say thank you very much for watching.